Well, thanks to Dr. Fan and Copen for inviting us to be here, because we're a little different than the last three companies. Probably first and notably is how many people have heard of zSpace before this slide and Dr. Fan introduced us. A few more than I thought, but certainly not as many that understood Google and Bose and PTC. So what I thought I'd do, and you're not alone, by the way, as Charlie Fink, who's going to be speaking later today, wrote, we're one of those big unknown companies in the general augmented reality space. So I'm hoping, if nothing else today, to educate you about us, but more importantly, how we align to really the 5 rules that Dr. Fan outlined, because we've lived those rules now for a period of time. But let me start and just, we've been making quite a bit of news in an industry which is in education. So I thought I'd start and let them speak and show you a quick video of how we're being seen using augmented reality in education.
Reading, writing, and virtual reality is a different type of school bus.
The zSpace virtual reality bus visits schools across the country.
It shows students and teachers how schools across the country are incorporating virtual reality into their lesson plans.
Students and staff visiting the virtual reality school bus used all-in-one computers and got the chance to see the world's first AR/VR laptop.
From the outside, it might look like a typical bus, but on the inside, it's a lab where students can dissect organs, operate robotic arms, catch butterflies, and even build homes.
Now, it's all in a virtual environment, so it rules out the danger, difficulty, or mess that such an experience might bring in the real world.
zSpace is a VR, AR, virtual reality, augmented reality combination using these glasses and this pen and a 3-dimensional screen.
With a pair of these glasses and this pen, the virtual...
Uh-oh.
Reading, writing, and virtual reality is a different type of school bus.
The zSpace virtual reality bus visits schools across the country.
It shows students and teachers how schools across the country are incorporating virtual reality into their lesson plans.
Students and staff visiting the virtual reality school bus used all-in-one computers and got the chance to see the world's first AR/VR laptop.
From the outside, it might look like a typical bus, but on the inside, it's a lab where students can dissect organs, operate robotic arms, catch butterflies, and even build homes.
Now, it's all in a virtual environment, so it rules out the danger, difficulty, or mess that such an experience might bring in the real world.
zSpace is a VR, AR, virtual reality, augmented reality combination using these glasses and this pen and a 3-dimensional screen.
With a pair of these glasses and this pen, the virtual...
All right, so that gave you at least a flavor, hopefully, of the technology. It's a little bit different. We do the augmentation on the screen, on the computer screen itself, using glasses. It's a very simple technique. And yet we didn't start in classrooms. We actually started, not unlike Copen, with the federal government behind us. So we were initially focused and were found by the U.S. Intelligence Service. And they had some key requirements, and I think these align, and this was almost 12 years ago when we started this venture, very much the rules that Dr. Fan has just described. They wanted something comfortable for daily long-term use, something that was collaborative, not isolating, intuitive, and the last one is almost most important from our viewpoint, which is an integrated experience. It didn't require me to do something different. I was using my technology as I use it before, and I just want to augment it and enhance it. I don't want to change it. And so that was a key requirement. Since then, we've now expanded and moved our presence into education, as you just saw in that video, as well as in hospitals, because they had a very similar request, which was, we want the benefits of augmented reality. We want all of that potential. We want to engage our students. We want to learn better how to do surgeries. We want to understand things in a deeper way. But we want to do it in a way that's human-centric. We don't want to put things on and be in an uncomfortable place. And for certainly students, we don't want them to be someplace else. We want them to be with us and learning collaboratively. So we've been delivering to millions of students over the last several years. But I want to talk for a minute about the technology itself and how really we've evolved that, and those 5 rules have borne out as we've done it. Because we've gone from display attached systems all the way to our latest laptop, which is just starting to ship in the market. And in all of those, they were built to be human-centric. We all use screens every day. We all pick up a laptop. We all work with a computer, and yet we do so in a constrained way. We're flat. So with zSpace now, you can do that work in Google Docs or in various tools and office productivity tools, but when the value exists, then you bring out that augmented reality experience. We do that with eyewear that people want to wear. They're just glasses, but they do provide head tracking. They provide that immersive experience, but they do it in a way that makes them feel very comfortable in doing so and allows them to see their partner next to them and collaborate. And lastly, we bring in those other sentences. We use sound. We agree that's very important. In schools, they do it with headphones. And we bring in haptics. And we did that with a stylus. Now, why a stylus? It's because every kid in the country knows how to pick up a stylus or a pen or a pencil and use it. And we did that introducing haptics and very, very common, simple interfaces. The last comment is you'll notice there's a wire on the stylus. That's human-centric. Our customer didn't want a battery. They don't want to charge. So although we could certainly do wireless, they said, look, we want a wire on this thing. We're going to go old school because we want that to be attached to the device. So beyond that, technology is a solution. We all know augmented reality, certainly zSpace, is not going to succeed unless we have a complete package for that end user experience. And we do that and had to do that for our education customers, spanning applications, creating a third-party ecosystem which continues to grow to deliver educational applications. Content, meaning it has to be aligned to standards and lessons. And as the prior speaker said, you have to install it. You have to think about how they're going to actually use it and work with those IT organizations and across school districts in our use case to make sure teachers get professional development. They know how to use that tool to its maximum effectiveness to engage their students. And because of this, we've had studies now at the university level that have demonstrated well over 16 to 20% absolute grade performance improvement using zSpace in the US and in China. You have to have flexibility for deployment. When we listened to our customers, they said, look, we have some school environments where we want to put them in one place, and then we have other school environments where they need to go mobile. They need to be within the classroom. So we've introduced both the mobile classroom model as well as the lab model, all through listening to how that customer wants to engage with that augmented experience and where is the best place to do that. And what we're working with Google on right now is to bring that to the web interface as well. Because in schools, you have Chromebooks, there's a lot of web content, and there's no reason at all, and through the standards work and the web VR work we've been doing with the Google Chrome browser team, we're starting to deliver that same magical experience now via the browser on just pure browser-based interactions. So although most of it today is in applications, Unity-based, Unreal, we're starting to see that quick migration towards doing it over standard-based web VR delivery. Where are we going now? What are we thinking about as a use case? Well, I would say we're being dragged into the home. We didn't start this as a consumer-oriented device and product, but what we're finding is in our education market, virtual or homeschooling is just this blended learning trend is huge. So what we're faced with now is we have thousands of students who have a zSpace in their house. And what are they asking for? They're saying, well, this is great to learn science and technology, engineering and math, STEM. It's helping me, and the parents say it's helping their students be more successful. But they want to use it more of the day. They want to have entertainment experiences. They want to have the advantages that zSpace obviously gives to them in learning. They want to see that extended into those other areas. So when we look at our future and what we're thinking about as we think about design, think about interaction and new content, it's around how to bring the right content into the home. It's not all content, it has a place, but the right content into the home. But with all this talk today about technology solutions, I think one thing I would leave you with, and Dr. Fan described it as human-centric. In our world, it's student-centric. And everything we do at the end of the day doesn't really matter how good the technology is, how compelling it is, and even how good the solution is if it isn't having an impact on these students' lives. And I can share with you, last week I was at Buffalo Public Schools, one of our largest school districts, one of the poorest, actually I think they stated they're the poorest the poorest city in the country right now, over a 40% poverty rate. They've deployed zSpace across their entire public school system. And what they're seeing is hope. They're seeing belief brought back to their students, and they're seeing real change. And to me, that's why we're all here, and that's the power of augmented reality. So thank you very much.